Take one of these, stick them sideways, open up your mouth, and if you smell what the Nitro Gang is cooking.
Turn left onto the ramp.
What's up, Nitro Gang? I am driving right now to pick up another vintage Nitro. You know why? Because that is how we're gonna make Nitro great again. This is a vintage, almost like new, Traxxas Nitro Stampede.
Continue for 5 miles.
Shut up, navigation. I'm telling these guys the story about the damn Nitro and you talking to me here. Calm down, yo.
You think you know me?
Nitro World Order.
Well, the first thing you gotta realize, brothers, is this right here is the future of
Nitro.
You can call this the
Nitro.
World Order, brothers.
Anyways, this is a very good deal. I am at $150 with the seller. You know, I basically just jumped in my Prius right after work, you know, and I'm trying to make this deal go down. This is one of those time is of the essence type of deals. Now I'm driving, the roads are fairly clear right here, right? The sun is in my face, basically killing me. That's why we're wearing glasses right now. I am hoping to do a, you know, a pickup video, maybe even a live stream when I get it. So I am meeting in a parking lot. The Traxxas Nitro Stampede is a classic vintage Nitro collectible. And in fact, there are a whole bunch of cool elements about it. Element number 1, you can't kill a Nitro. That's just a joke. Actually, I'm serious. Element number 1 and 2, it's got dual exhaust, baby, the Traxxas Pro 15 engine. And yes, they still do sell them, unlike Kyosho, which likes to discontinue a bunch of crap. Now, of course, the Stampede is discontinued, okay? But the Pro 15, you could still get them. So in a minute, let me turn this camera around because there's probably coppers all around here. You know, can't be seen with a camera in my hands. So right now, this is the outer bridge crossing. You know, we're doing a steady 50 or so about here on the Prius. We are getting crazy MPGs right now. We are at 57 MPG just about. That's basically insane, guys. You know, we're crossing the bridge. I am going to be meeting in a parking lot of a Walmart, right? Because why not? Like, nothing bad could happen in a Walmart. They sell donuts there. They sell grilled chicken there. And whatever the hell you want, right? I might even get some donuts on the way there, actually, when I'm coming back. Pretty much fun. So we are rolling right now, legit rolling, so to say.
Welcome to New
Making Nitro great again. I got the camera outside the car. Whoa, that was risky. Man, it's not easy holding a camera when it's outside the car and you're doing 50 on a bridge, you know? Anyways, let's make this deal go down. I'm pumped. Are you pumped? Let's do this. What's going on, Nitro Gang? We finally got the Stampede back. I am going to put a clip here from, you know, when I first picked this thing up. I did a live video right in the parking lot of the Walmart where I got it. And then, you know, it was a little bit dark out there. We didn't do a really good demonstration on the condition of this Stampede. Since then, I've done a lot of work. I will be removing the coolant head. We will check inside the motor to determine if it is completely seized or not. Everything here is on the table. It's already a couple days after. Now, obviously, you saw me pick this up during a live stream. But either way, it was awesome. I did push-ups in the parking lot. I yelled at a couple hecklers. I did whatever the hell I wanted. I even wore a very cool, fancy suit jacket. So check out some of these clips from the live, and then we will come back, take a look in much better detail at exactly the condition. Oh, I already see the filter is completely destroyed, by the way. Dual exhaust, baby. Watch this. I'm in a Walmart parking lot. I have a Traxxas Nitro Stampede, super hella rare vintage. Nitro chain around my neck. We got the box. We got a nitro. Oh, what's up, Kevin Trappin? How you doing? Oh, hold on, let me text you back. We're using this vintage QWERTY slide-out keyboard, LG, baby. This was my old phone right here. What's up, Sean Stapsky? How you doing? Kevin Trappin, what's going on, man? I'm just out here doing a video. I see you in the chat right here, man. Okay, let's get back to nitro. Okay, no big deal. Let's do it. I almost guarantee you, it is very difficult to find an original Traxxas Nitro Stampede that is not completely freaking destroyed. Let me show you where I am. I'm going to lift this. Check that out. What's in the background? What does that look like to you? That's Walmart, guys. You see that Walmart? Okay? Yeah, this is basically where a lot of Nitro Gang deals go down at all times because it's safe. You don't have to show up with a screwdriver in your pocket just in case, you know, like sometimes. So in the back, we got overpriced Subway. We got Five Guys, also relatively overpriced on salty, but not bad. And we got GameStop. I'm just out here looking at like a day trader of Nitro, okay? Actually, you know what? Hold up a second. We're gonna do a little pose. We're gonna do a pose down. When I get home later on today, I want somebody to thumbnail this picture. Hold up, let me hold this like it's meant to be held. Like the off the chicks in here. So someone do a thumbnail of me holding up a flip phone. Okay, how's that? Do a thumbnail this. Dumbass smile. Take one of these, stick them sideways, open up your mouth, and smell what the Nitro Gang is cooking. Today it's donuts. It's complete. Now it looks like somebody tried to kill it. But the thing is, what they didn't know is you cannot actually kill a Nitro. Michael Edgar goes, they are two-wheel drive. The answer is yes, these are two-wheel drive. So if you look at the bottom, it's like a basic, you know, this is an old school chassis. Oh man, I forgot to actually bring my electric Stampede. I was gonna bring my electric Stampede for a comparison. Where am I looking right now? Do you see? Do I have to look at it any closer? Okay, it's the pipe, baby. That's right, Logan B and Dale. That's right, it's the pipe. So this is one of the only Traxxas Nitros other than the Traxxas Nitro V. So these are actually very crooked. They are supposed to be pointing not up, okay? You cannot have your exhaust go up like this. This is not the Mad Max edition. Kevin Talbot here with a question. I will answer this. Kevin Talbot says, what's better, Nitro or electric? You know, that has been a topic of debate for a very long time. And I cannot tell you which one is better. I'll give you my most honest answer. There is no better. It is what you prefer. What you prefer is what you like. Now, this channel, obviously, it's centered around Nitro. The reason is, that is where I started, that is my niche, and that is the bulk of my audience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was nothing. We'll do a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly. Often Chick says the push-ups remove the sickening flags. Guys, if you want to get girls like Often Chicks,
Planes ain't nothing to fuck with.
I don't know what that troll just said. He said something about nothing to whatever with. Tell me what that troll said. Often Chicks.
Planes ain't nothing to fuck with.
Often Chicks.
Planes ain't nothing to fuck with.
Sometimes you're gonna get troll drive-bys, but me right here, I don't even care. What are they gonna do to me? They can't kill the Nitro Gang, just like you can't kill a Nitro. Here we go. If there's any drive-bys, you guys tell me. I'll take them out. I'll jump up and we'll take out the drive-bys together.
Good fucking morning.
30 it is, guys. 30 it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ted! Hold it low. Hold it. And I can do 45, that's no big deal. I actually was the record holder for push-ups and pull-ups in high school. But just so you understand, that's because I was a skinny bitch mostly in my life, okay? Okay? And listen, you should sometimes be hard on yourself. You know, people say, be easy on yourself, bro, everything is okay. If you don't push yourself, no one will really ever push you. They might push you around, but they will not constructively push you. You have to push yourself, unless you want to get pushed around. All right, let's take a close-up look at the Nitro Stampede. Now, I cleaned it up a little bit. You know, I washed the cooling head just on top here a little bit. I washed maybe about 2 of the wheels. Basically, it's in, you know, the same condition that I picked this up in, so nothing is completely different. You're still getting a very good point of view of what is going on. Now, inside the box, there really is nothing else there. Oh, were we drinking just now? Maybe. Okay, so inside we just have part of, you know, the styrofoam. We'll close this up. The box is in pretty good shape. Let's take a look around the box, because the box art is really what sells the RC to you. I mean, in my opinion, at least. We have the Traxxas Pro 15 engine. These are still available, brand new for sale on Amazon. We have bearings, you know, the newer easy start system, not the old style one. I looked for parts for these motors, and yes, there still are rebuild kits and there still are connecting rods for sale, so parts will not be an issue. They call this a skill level 2. In terms of speed, it's claimed to do 33 miles per hour, which is honestly, I would say, still a very good solid top speed. That is not slow. When you see a relatively small kind of a, you know, small 1/10 scale monster truck like this moving, 33 is still actually quite fast. Anything else interesting on this side of the box? So we have a couple different colors and channels. We have this one right here, which is the blue body, pretty nice, although this one looks almost exactly the same. They have the red and some other different color one. So length, you know, these are not big, 17 inches long. That is quite small actually for, you know, a monster truck. Compared to even the older style T-maxx, this is quite small. Now, the condition of this particular one, the body is okay. I did wash it in the sink. Suspension wise, you know, it's normal. The only thing I did fill the shocks in the front here with some shock fluid. I might have used shock roll that's a little bit too thick, because the dampening rate isn't as springy as I would like, but the shocks themselves do not leak, and you know, we could always change this in the future. Now in the back we have this new era wheelie bar. Really nice to see, because as you just saw in the beginning of this video, these things are actually pretty serious wheelie monsters. So normally it will go like this, right? And now you have yourself an awesome wheelie bar. On the bottom here, you could see it's connected fairly well. It's also part of like the skid plate design. The bottom of the chassis is clean. So let's remove the body now. Okay. The chassis itself, it's okay. I cleaned some of it, okay, just so you guys understand. I did do some maintenance on this before recording this actual overview video. Now it is 100% stock, other than this wheelie bar here in the back. These exhaust things are actually turnables. Check this out. So you can still get these rubber grommets on the exhaust. These use a dual exhaust. One of my favorite features about the Nitro Stampede, to be honest with you, is the dual exhaust. So they are adjustable, I guess, if you want like a different height. I don't know why you would want a different height, because they're basically supposed to point towards the ground and like to the bottom like that. I really like this rear exhaust feature. Currently, only the Traxxas Revo has this, well, not this exact one, but it has the rear exhaust feature. And the side of your chassis will almost always be clean. Now, this motor, you know, it's not the cleanest I've ever seen, but it's by far not the dirtiest. Now, I notice, because this is an old school, you know, muffler style setup, this is not a tuned pipe. You know, keep that in mind. This is just a factory, I guess you could call this dual outlet exhaust. Notice how close this back pressure port is. It's basically built in right on top of the header that goes into the fuel tank. Very, very close. Now the top of the cooling head is scratched, you know, it took a couple tumbles, no big deal. In the front we have, you know, a steering servo, right? It's a very basic chassis layout, and it's very light. Like as I lift it like this, it is super light. It is lighter than you would expect. The easy start port is here in the back, fairly convenient. So you would just slide the wand right under the body and boom, there you go. The rear suspension is adequate. I have not messed around with the rear at all. Okay, so it's pretty normal. A lot of these parts are basically the same with the Nitro Rustler and the Stampede and the electric models. So parts, drive shafts, turnbuckles, stuff like that are not an issue when getting a Nitro Stampede like this. One of the bad things I did notice is the spur gear. It is stripped. So it seems like it is stripped to the point where it's still usable. Like as I move the clutch bell, I could see the spur gear has a relatively proper gear mesh. So we'll only be able to find out if it is a very good stripper or a very bad stripper when we actually run it. Air filter, completely disintegrated, right? So as I remove the air filter, it is as disintegrated as possible on the inside there. I will not be trying to start it because obviously, you know, all of this filter foam will just fall into the engine. Now, considering the engine actually moves, it is highly seized. So as I move this flywheel, completely jammed. I cannot move it at all. It is basically unmovable. It is stationary. Now the next thing I like to check is whether the carb itself is seized. So I could see some rust on top of the carb barrel itself right there, which is not very good. I have my finger on the throttle lever here and I cannot move it at all. It is completely seized. And yes, I did put some WD-40 in this overnight and it hasn't done anything. So this has to be fully disassembled, taken apart, cleaned in the sink. Not the end of the world, you know, it's just part of that vintage Nitro restoration process. Get ready to fully disassemble the engine. Now when I mean fully, I really just mean remove the easy start system, remove the back plate, remove the cooling head, and remove the carburetor. Beyond that, you really don't need to be taking bearings apart. I've removed all of the screws. Let's take a look inside the motor under the cooling head. This is the moment of truth, guys. So the head seems normal. You know, I don't see anything bad there. The motor itself, you know, I do not see any oil at all. It is completely oil free on the inside there. I do not even see any old oil film, which is what you normally do expect, you know. Now the owner told me he did use a lot of after-run oil in this, so you know, I can't test the compression at all because obviously the piston is completely seized inside there. But later on, you know, this is just like an intro and demonstration on the actual condition of this Nitro as I picked it up. I will be doing the proper maintenance and, you know, pretty much along the way there will be an update video, but for now this is what we have. I could say the benefit is at least the piston is not at top dead center, so it seems to be stored at the bottom of the stroke, which is very ideal for long-term storage, especially when you have absolutely no oil inside that engine. So that's what it is for now. I cannot even check the electronics just because I don't feel like it. The first thing you really need to do is, you know, check the motor's compression. Now the steering, so the servo saver is super soft. So check this out. I could easily move the wheels like with my hands like this. Look at that. This is the entire range of motion of the servo saver, and the servo itself is not even moving. So obviously these are like hardcore basher cars, you know, like meant for complete noobs. So the servo saver they use is super weak. You know, it's very forgiving is the proper way of calling it. It's no big deal. You can install some other system later. You can, you know, put in like a fixed one, but for now we're just gonna keep it as it is, obviously, because for me originality is key. And if Traxxas wanted you to drive around with a servo saver like that, then who am I to say no, Traxxas? You know, we're gonna say yes, Traxxas. Why not, right? Because we're not haters of the brand. We like them. Now it's interesting, before I was going over some of the electronics in this car and like I was like, well, is the power switch, like, is it okay? And it is, it took me like a while to get it like unjammed. It was actually a little bit seized as well. It seems like this thing is basically seized up almost everywhere, but the benefit is it is complete. Otherwise now there's really nothing else I can check without first removing and repairing and restoring the motor. Now I also got a toolbox full of parts. Now on top here, I went over some of this during the original pickup video. If you guys want to see, there is a high level in-depth detail. These are just like basically, you know, almost relatively useless parts. The only thing that's usable is this off the air filter oil here, and maybe some kind of, you know, screws, some spare parts over here. It's really nothing that significant. It's just nice to see, you know, whenever you get parts, it's kind of makes you happy when you have a bunch of parts, you know. I wish we had spare spur gears, but we don't. We have a Traxxas glow plug lead wire. So that is the wire that connects to the top of the head. Over time, no matter what you do, they're going to get frayed just like this over time. Just the way the body sits on it, usually the body will tend to cut you know, a hole right through, and that is why we have a spare one. We have after on oil, you know, it's basically almost empty. The owner told me he used a bunch of it, but I just do not really see it in there. It's possible that it seeped down to the bottom of the motor there, to the bearings, but I have no way to really tell right now. We have some Trinity shock oil. This is very, very top priority good stuff. So this is 30 weight silicone oil. Now, just for comparison purposes, I usually use like 60 weight oil. This is 60. Okay, so 60 is a little bit too over dampened, I would say. So probably 40 would be ideal for this. 30, I don't know, 30 might be a little bit too low. I like a good dampening rate, because for those high speed runs, you really want that suspension to not be very, very springy. Okay, we have just a bunch of different screwdrivers here. Really don't care about that because I use my own tools. On the inside here, I did go over this a little bit. We have the original radio, right? This is the old school Traxxas AM top qualifier. I actually have grown to like these. They're fairly reliable. Personally, I like these more because they have an actual throttle trim adjustment on the radio instead of using the TQI app, which is a disaster every time, no matter what. We have some spare parts. Looks like a part of the bottom chassis plate with the skid plate right here. We have some shock spacers, you know, from a parts tree, and we have the old school Hobbico AC/DC charger. Not the band, this is the charger. Okay, highway to hell. Sometimes you could say the highway to hell. This has gone through it, because look at this spur gear I just pulled out of the parts box. It's also completely stripped, but this one is stripped beyond use. So it's no big deal. I looked it up. These are actually fairly inexpensive and available on eBay, so it's not the end of the world. Spur gears for this is no big deal. Just get another one and don't break it again. Now the rest of the stuff is really nothing to talk about here. You know, I just wanted to show you what I actually got. What's this? Is this interesting? Nah, this is not that interesting. This is basically not interesting at all inside there. So guys, that's it. This is, you know, what you get when you get yourself a vintage Nitro, even though, you know, it is complete. It is in basically close to ideal condition, but motor is completely seized. Servo saver is like, well, basically like the strength of a wet noodle. You know, spur gear stripped. It's all of these basics. To get something like this running ideally, it is possible, but you know, it really comes down to, if you want to buy more Nitros, you gotta buy them cheaper. I'm just happy that I have the box. I might, in fact, eventually, when I restore this and repair and we do some speed runs with this, guys, I will most likely just put it back in the box and have it for pure display purposes, because trucks like these, you know, years from now, they will be more rare and collectible than they actually are. And I'm just happy to own one. Thank you guys so much for watching. There will be much more on this Nitro Stampede. The reason is, you just can't kill it. And by the way, get yourself a Nitro Gang shirt, scroll right under this video and buy one. Thank you guys, until next time. If you smell what the Nitro Gang is cooking.
Girl so fine, but her breath is like, whoa. She say she wanna dance, but she don't know how to. Whoa.